Well, greetings there, Tubaneros. It's been a while since we last encountered. As you see, I have some new digs since then with some new sound effects outside. The reason for me coming out of the woodwork yet again is because it seems that we have been trumped. But this is not the occasion for despair, in my opinion, that seems to be gripping so many people across the country. Before making light of the stupidity of the average voter, let's stop and look at the choices they actually had confronting them. Uh, Basically, two party machines, both of them gamed by the elite long ago, out of touch with the average voter. The average voter, in turn, basically confused, not knowing whom to trust and trusting no one. On the one hand, of course, you have the Republican establishment, long co opted by Wall Street and the corporate elite, totally separate from the country people that it basically hopes to represent, but able at least to field one candidate who could resonate with those voters. On the other side, you had the one candidate who could resonate with the voters, defeated by the Democratic Party machine, who put its own person, Hillary Clinton, into the candidacy, and the result is what you saw the other night. I would say that it would have been possible to pull a Democratic victory out of the election if anybody but Hillary had been running. And although it's a cliche, I guess, to bash Hillary from the right or left, let's face the facts that she is a prima donna who feels she was entitled to the office and simply had too much personal baggage to be able to connect with the mass of her party, let alone the average middle of the road voter. So instead of surrendering to despair, I think there is, in fact, a galvanizing effect here. Can't forget your basic Lenin that the worse things get, the better they can become. That's the dialectic contradiction here, is that it will actually galvanize people into realizing what they have lost, what they could potentially lose. I think as the Trump presidency unfolds or unwinds, we're going to see many cases of conflict, of dissatisfaction. I picture him basically as being another Richard Nixon, who is just crass enough and stupid enough to do the very things that will undo him, that will hang him. All we have to do is just simply bide our time, wait for him to put his foot in his mouth and his neck in the noose, and he will do the rest. That doesn't mean we don't make the effort of protest, of struggle, of fighting back when it's necessary. But in the end, he's exactly the kind of person who is going to self-destruct. We have to, of course, provide the fuel for the fire, but however moderate he may seem in his first couple of weeks, couple of months, maybe even in his first 6 months, his basic character, being a demagogue and fascist, will emerge. He will have trouble with Congress, even though it's now controlled by his own party. It still is part of the old elite establishment. Just like Hitler had trouble with his own conservative allies in the Reichstag. He will have trouble with the Supreme Court before he can pack it with his own people. He will have trouble with the media. He'll have trouble with certain vested interests, not just the unions, of course, but even with his own Wall Street cronies. He will want to govern as a dictator, and in the end, the very institutions that he has thumbed his nose at and flipped off will trip him up. We, of course, from below have to do our part and add fuel to the fire in order to make sure that this is a one-term presidency and perhaps, with a little Nixonian luck, not even that. Uh-oh. See, the knock on the phone is following me even here. Who is this? Hello? Why, Benito Mussolini. What brings you out of the grave? Oh, just that you're glad about the results, that this is exactly what you envisioned to make America great again, following in your footsteps. Well, I guess that's true, but we don't want to carry that analogy too far, do we? I mean, after all, we will have the FBI listening in on these kind of dissident broadcasts and videos now, so let me just say this. The last thing we would ever want for Trump is to follow in your footsteps and end up hanging upside down by his heels like a slab of fresh pork.